Marty Supreme stars Timothée Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, and is directed by Josh Safdie. And it tells the tale of a young man with a dream no one respects, goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness. And indeed, the trailers showed us a bill of goods where it looked like it was going to be a coming of, well, not age, but a feel-good story of this underdog who tries to sell the world of table tennis and how popular it's going to become and his fight and rise to success. That's what the trailers were trying to sell us. Is this movie about that? No, it's not. In fact, there's big swaths of this film that don't have any table tennis in it at all. Because as we learn about Marty Supreme, we find that he's got a lot of problems going on in his life. Yes, family problems, relationship problems, financial problems. He's a bit of a weasel. He tries to weasel his way up the ladder, and that's part of the charm of what this movie was trying to do, and I think it does do for a lot of people. It comes in at a high 94% by critics, 84% by the audience. That it's trying to sell this jaded character fighting for what he believes in and is right. That he knows the way to the top of the ladder. And unfortunately, Marty Supreme is a character that he's not that likable. And we've seen movies in the past where we've had not likable characters, like one of my favorite movies, There Will Be Blood, right? Daniel Plainview is not a very likable character because he does cruel things. But it's Marty Mauser's not like that. he's a pompous, arrogant prick. And Timothée Chalamet does a great job of showcasing that pompous arrogance. I'm the best, and I'll show you that I'm the best. And while some bad things do happen to him, you just never get the sense that he internalizes that the error of his ways, right? You never get the sense that he learned from his mistakes. This comes from one of the directors that helped to create Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler about, well, a gambler, a compulsive gambler who gets in over his head. And he's not a very likable character either because he cheats everything. He tries to make excuses for everything. He never takes ownership for everything. And that movie is good because it pays off in the way that he gets what's coming to him. Does Marty Supreme, does he get what's coming to him? Sort of, but it's not done in a way that I felt like was really satisfying to me. I felt like maybe on a second viewing that would hit home a little bit better for me. But my initial response to it was kind of like, you don't like this guy. You're not supposed to like this guy. Okay, I get it. But the trailer sold me the bill of goods that this was going to be a feel-good story of how this star of table tennis made it popular, how he became like the number one in the world. He doesn't become the number one in the world. It's shades of of Uncut Gems. It's kind of like it's a bit of a bummer kind of story, right? It's a mean-spirited story. Odessa Zion was the standout here for me. Odessa, if you don't know, she was in this year's Until Dawn movie, Odessa, as Zion. She plays kind of like the girlfriend here. And she was also in that Hellraiser reboot a few years back, where I guess a lot of us really took notice of her in that movie. She's like the main character and calls out Pinhead. And she's got a lot of inner turmoil in that movie, and she's got a lot of inner turmoil in this movie because she's trying to be the girlfriend to Marty Supreme, who's always running away to try to chase his dreams, and he sells everybody out, backstabs everybody, steals things, and it's kind of like you don't like him, but the supporting cast around Timothée Chalamet here is all really, really good. So is Timothée Chalamet, because you don't like him. You're not, and as I said, I don't think you're supposed to like him. But the standouts, I think this is the best I've seen of Gwyneth Paltrow in a while. There's like this weird romance going on in here where it's kind of like, I don't know why she likes him. I understand why he likes her, because she's a washed up Hollywood actress. And maybe the first time she just gives in to the charm of this over-the-top, arrogant little weasel, right? But yeah, Odessa here is also, she's great as the girlfriend, and she's got a lot of talent. 25 years old. I want to see her in more stuff. Upcoming, she's got Stranger Things Tales from 85 TV series. Wait, I don't know if there's going to be a spin-off on that. Is there post-production? So they already shot it. I love LA, more TV stuff. Nichols, and For the Night. But you may recognize her from that Until Dawn movie, right? Remember that horror movie that came out earlier this year where they were reliving their deaths over and over again, and every time they died, the night reset? She was in that. Like, she's a talented actress. So, culminating in all that stuff, do you think that I'm going to be as high as a 94% on this? No. Will I be around 84? Is it one of the better movies of the year? Well, according to this, these kinds of numbers, people would say that it is one of the better movies of the year. And I don't even think it would crack my top 10. Because it's not one of those movies where I want to go back and watch it again. It's kind of like Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley. You know how in Nightmare Alley, you're watching Bradley Cooper, who's not a very good character, a very good guy. I mean, he cheats everybody. He steals from everybody. He's trying to swindle his way to the top. Well, that's exactly what Marty Supreme is doing. He's trying to swindle his way to the top. He doesn't make it. And is it worthwhile watching? Like, just, yes. So, with some pain, I tell you that it's a good movie. So, acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. For the ensemble, and because of what Timothée Chalamet does here, I'm going to give a full 2 points, straight up. Directing, it's well shot. I think there's some CG backgrounds in here that really do help sell it because it's a period piece. They go over to Japan or whatever to shoot some stuff, and it's like, well, they're not really in Japan kind of stuff. So a lot of the technical aspects are handled very well here, but it comes down to the execution of the story. The pacing does move fast, but there's just a few things here where you think about it character-wise. Like, does this character actually learn from their mistakes? Is this a story that you would watch again because of this character? I don't know. Some people might, depending on where they are in their lives. The story, it's not what I thought the trailer. I thought it would be like this guy proves to the world that, yes, table tennis is a big sporting event for some people, and he's going to rise to the top. He's going to use his skill to sell the game to the world and the masses, but that's not what the movie is about. You spend a lot of time learning about hustles, swindling and lying to people. But the acting was well enough done that I gotta give it a full 1.5. The cinematography, based on some of the stuff that I've been telling you about, the integration of some of the backgrounds and stuff like that, because it's a period piece, it's well shot. The score, there's some needle drops in here that will work for some. And I know that some reviewers will give, like, the needle drops. It uses a good mix of, like, newer stuff with that older age style. I could give it a full point. I'll reserve the right to come back to that. But let's go back to the tomato meter here, as we're sitting at 6.5, and see what the consensus of critics and audience here. Serving up Timothée Chalamet at his most infectious, charismatic, Marty Supreme is a propulsive epic that realizes its sky-high aspirations even while it critiques its indelible hero toxic ambition. I was just thinking about the opening sequence and my use of cinematography and visual effects. If you know the opening sequence, it's quite sexual in nature. Vulgar. It's not vulgar, James. It's natural human making stuff. Well, yeah, that's what I mean by good cinematography. And Timothée Chalamet does a good job acting in this. He does. He's charismatic enough to make you like this not so good dude. Audience says, a gripping odyssey about a nobody who wants to be somebody. Marty Supreme unfolds like a game of table tennis, explosive, unpredictable, and defined by agile movements executed with both passion and precision. But that's the thing. It shows you the table tennis stuff, which I found very fascinating. And they were talking about the grips that the Japanese use and stuff like that. And I really wish that we got more into that stuff. But instead, we're working with, I got to hustle this guy to make a few bucks. It's like, it's not, yeah, I don't know. And as I said, that stuff may improve now on a second viewing. Now that I know that I shouldn't be expecting the table tennis stuff, then it may, like my perception of it will improve upon a second viewing, is what I'm trying to say. Irish Times. For all the trademark Safdie unease, Marty Supreme remains an enormously good time at the cinema. The 150-minute minutes speed by as we encounter an array of brilliantly cast cameos. It does have a lot of well, I wouldn't say cameos, but it's got an interesting cast. It's got a few people in here that you'd be like, oh, like Tyler the Creator, Fran Drescher. It's good to see her working. It really is. And she's a good actress. Sandra Bernhard. Was it Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller? He's in this. But this is definitely the best I've seen Gwyneth Paltrow in a while. It is. I know that some people say that she's contrite or whatever, like full of herself. But she's good in this film. Because you can see a little bit of anguish. She doesn't like the guy either, but she's still hooked in by the charisma. And I guess that goes as another testament to Timothée Chalamet's skills. So granted, yes, there's a great performance, great performances in this. And that's gonna be enough for people to be like, you got to see this movie, you got to check this out. This has got to be one of the best movies of the year. But no, I don't think so. I don't think it's one of the better movies of the year. But I can't really contest somebody who says that it's good enough because of the acting performances in it. It's just not one of those movies that I want to sit down and watch again. That's what I would say. Let's see what some of the audience say. Acting may have been okay, but the manic pace at which the main character disrupts lives of those around him in any other manner would be disrespectful, or something like that. Great movie and great performances all around. Probably not a movie for everyone, but I was hooked and enthralled the entire runtime. The movie doesn't stop to take a breath. And that's okay. That's where the pacing of it for the 2.5 hours, it is well set. Like, you don't feel that time. You just wish that you were watching a little bit of a different story. Oh, God, Kevin O'Leary at one point is like, you put that paddle down. Reason to see is Chalamet's incredible performance. Yeah, exactly. Reason not to see this movie is entirely too long, so some people had some issues with the pacing, but 94% is high. 84 is probably more the ballpark that I would go in. 84%. Let's go back to the score sheet here and wrap it up. Watchability is out of a possible 2 points each, and 2 points. And I gotta say, if you like the premise of the trailer, if you're a fan of Chalamet, you'll want to check it out at least once. And based on the ensemble and the acting performances all around, you will want to go back and look at some of the scenes in particular, because there's some showcase stuff in here where you get to see the full talents on display. 8 out of 10. That's good. I think that's where I want to sit for Marty Supreme. Yeah, I think that's about where I'm going to sit. 8 out of 10 for Marty Supreme. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Let's pull up some live chat comments here. Let's go and pull up what people are saying, because we filmed this live. We'll pull down this poster. Our Glass says, I was hoping Marty Supreme was a cross between Catch Me If You Can and weirdly Tetris. A great thrilling movie. I never saw the Tetris movie. That was with Edgerton, right? Taryn? Yeah, it was trying, yeah, it was more like Catch Me If You Can, because it's not about, well, it's just because he is trying to hustle his way to the top, right? He's trying to hustle his way to victory. It's like, well, the trailers made it more seem like, for me at least, the trailers made it seem like he was going to use his skill and his ability on the table tennis arena to win everybody over. He was going to use that skill. Instead, he was using his more nefarious skills. So with that being said, 8 out of 10 for Marty Supreme. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, come join us here on the channel, because we just reviewed Ella McKay, Eternity, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, The Housemaid, and Anaconda, right here on Mirror Domains.